All right. Here we are after much technical difficulty at Mr. Beesneez's redemption. Highland Park Cask Strength release number 4. Fresh cracker here. Yeah, so this is an Edrington product, a Macallan product, I suppose, from the Highland Park Distillery. This is the Cask Strength Batch 4 release. This is a hot 64.3% alcohol or 128.6 proof. It is natural color. Look at that. Look at that natural color. And it is 14 years in ex-sherry with Spanish and American oak, refill, ex-bourbon, and export. Apparently, all those things have some play here. But again, it's mostly Spanish or European and American sherry seasoned oak casks. And of course, since we're talking about Highland Park, this is lightly peated with their personal Orkney peat. Again, 20% of the barley is peated with like local heather-rich peat. Most of these releases, though, are exclusively sherry matured. So I didn't actually know that there was port in here until like 10 minutes ago. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know if we'll really be able to get any of that out of here because I think it's in a small proportion. But it'll make their release slightly unique against their normal flavor profile, I suppose. Should I take all this off? I kind of want to take this whole thing off. There. It's like it feels like this is supposed to be wrapped around there, but it's like crappy enough packaging that it comes right off. So I don't know. Either way, yeah. So we'll get quite to it, and I'm sure it'll be a little hot, but that's okay. Ooh, that was righteous. Man, there's been some good fucking pops the past few days. Boom. And of course, this is the older, kind of like Viking Honor bottling packaging, I suppose, before the new environment sensitive stuff, I guess. A renewable looking packaging. So here's our natural color. And again, this is a mix of sherry seasoned Spanish and American oak predominantly with some little bits of refill, ex-bourbon, and export at 14 years. Ooh, there's a strong aroma. It's funny though. It's a funny smell. Smells like old people. No, it's like kind of like a weird dried fruit peat smell, if that makes any sense. Um, see if we can get the running here. Some pretty thick globules here. Typically we want, well, there's a whole bunch of thin ones here on this side. A whole bunch, like 5 thin, slow-moving ones. I don't know if you can really see that on this side, but you probably can't really see it, but definitely appears to be quite thick there. I'm just going to give it another minute, because again, we're talking about 64.3% alcohol. And of course, Highland Park. I think they're not the only distillery on Orkney anymore. There's another distillery called Scapa, which was kind of like only running sometimes, but I think they're actually running it now. I can't remember who owns it, but eventually we'll get some stuff from Scapa and see if like it's like really super comparable. I don't think everything from Scapa is like peated, but some of it's peated. They did have some like non-age data releases that came out a little while ago, but I think they've got more like core range products coming. At least not that I've seen in my market, but I've heard it on the whispers that there might be another Orkney distillery about, which means when you see an independent bottler that says a secret Orkney, you won't know anymore. The old secret Orkney. Ooh. That's a few things. It's not super harsh on the nose, but you can tell it's hot. Like the nose is a little hot, but it's not like super bad. Like it's not burning, but you can tell it's hot. Ooh, look at that one burned a little bit. But yeah, there's some clear like sherry things going on here. It doesn't hit like super smoky or anything, which again, it's only slightly peated. Man, what hits me immediately is like, man, it's like actually a cacophony of things. So there is kind of like some of that, like Oloroso sherry, dried fruit kind of notes. But there is like a vanilla sweetness, and there is like a cakiness. Like there's an underlying sweetness going on. Um, oh, it's a little strong though on the nose. Like maybe if we give it a little bit more, it'll be okay. A little bit better. Yeah, it's so interesting though. Like it's like how would you call that? Is 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 ginger cake a thing? Ginger cake, is that a thing? Yeah. Yeah. It's like ginger cake and dried fruit. There is a floral component, but it's vanilla for sure. Um, but there's also like a rich, kind of a rich, dark, dried fruit component. There's still sweetness about it, despite all those factors. So it's like spicy and cakey and sweet with like some like hints of vanilla, but also like dried fruit in there. And there's like just a waft of that kind of like floral smoke character, but it's not super strong. How do they put it? How do they put it on this little chart again? They say it's more peated than the 12, but not by a lot. Like slightly more peated than the 12. I guess that would make sense. If you wanted to put this all together, it would be like a ginger cake with dried fruit baked into it with like vanilla frosting. Like that's kind of where we're at. With like, again, there's still like a floral component. Oh, it's changing a little bit. Hold on. This nose seems really good. It's like very strong too. It's kind of like, the only thing that's like hard for me is at this proof, we're fighting the alcohol a little bit. Godspeed, Godspeed on the palate. But it's like slightly hot enough that it's getting better though. We're getting in there. It is a spicy meatball though, on temperature. Oh, I thought it was changing, but it was like I just got like a good kind of like rich red fruit note, kind of like a port note. But I don't want to necessarily like say, oh, it's got all the port. It's not really that, but I kind of went in there and got a good rich like red fruit note just like that one time. And I kind of thought maybe it was like just evolving outright, but no, it's kind of just like one time. And I don't know if like my impression is there's not very much port in the blend, but I could see a world where like, hey, you get some sherry and port together, and maybe it kind of like comes out a little bit redder. Of course, you don't know somewhat like, well, it says export. Well, how old was the port barrel? Is it like, you know, port seasoned, or is it like this is a 30-year-old port? But because of course those older ports are going to be much different, I suppose, than like fresh like ruby port kind of thing. But yeah, there's like, I'm kind of getting like it's maybe a little minor, but there is like a rich red fruit aspect that to me is like a port note. Again, it reminds me of the port note in the Glenglassaugh Port Soy. Like that just it's a richer, redder note than you would normally get from like Oloroso. Now, I might be convincing myself that a little bit because I know there's port in it, but feels true. This is good though. Great nose actually. Pretty damn good. So we'll gulp this on the palate. Highland Park Cask Strength Release number 4. Slashable. Ooh. That's fucking hot. That's a little bit hot. It's so good, but it's hot. Man. It didn't seem that bad. Like, honestly, it didn't seem that bad. I was like, oh, this is not so bad. And then you swallow it, and you're like, oh, okay. Fuck. There's some good flavor in there, though. It's punchy. It is punchy. So I think the past couple bottles we talked about Highland Park, like even this one, I think this one's 44%, but even this one, like, it was okay. Like we gave it a little bit of a wrap because it's very soft. It wasn't punchy. I think even this one, I was like, it's not that punchy. Obviously, this one's punchy. It doesn't hold back. That being said, it's not like hitting me like anything like crazy interesting. It feels like it's just the same notes you expect out of like these Highland Parks. The flavor profile from Highland Park is all there at like a very loud volume. So we're gonna try to get you a better like note by note analysis here, but at first, we're just trying to like take the heat for a minute. That first sip on a 64% alcohol product is an assault. So we're gonna like hit it again here in a minute. Some cocoa powder on that. Oh, I'm getting. Oh, that's that. Oh, that's so weird. There's a sulfuriness. The smoke is in here now, but it's like a burnt matchstick smoke. Didn't I say there was burnt matchstick on Highland Park 12? And at the time, I was like, I don't know if this is right, but it feels a little sulfury. Hold on. I'm getting that same, like, freshly lit match kind of smoke note. I want to see if I wrote that on the 12 or not. I can't remember. I think I did. Yeah. Yeah, like I gave a note on the 12 that was freshly struck match. And here it is again. Oh, there's some rich fruit notes in this, though. Again, it's very rich and cakey. The sweetness is kind of coming in. The smoke is, like, kind of way more apparent than at first. But the smoke is hitting me like, not like campfire, it's like someone struck a match near you. But like more intense, right? Like super intense version of that. Not like super intense version of that in terms of like the overall flavor profile, but like that individual component compared to like striking a match in real life is like very intense version of that, but as an addition to the rest of the aroma. Oh, this is really good, actually. This nose is really good. Yeah, sometimes you get in there and you get that sweet cakey thing. Sometimes you get in there and like the fruits are very like luscious. I'm getting like a vanilla custard thing in there sometimes. Did I write that before too? I think these are like very similar notes I think I wrote about Highland Park 12. Yeah, I wrote custard, vanilla pudding, peaches and cream was another one. I don't hate that note either. So it's kind of like hitting right now. The aroma is hitting like very similar to Highland Park 12. Do I have that bottle just sitting here? No, I don't. It's up there. But it's like all the dials are turned way up on the intensity. And there's like slightly more to the like fruity components. Like they're a bit more rich. a bit more juicy than like the like red fruity components that are in the typical Highland 12. And I think that's just maybe like a bit of port splashed in there. Port cask, I mean, obviously. Like, I'm getting some like red fruits that don't seem dried to me. Yeah, and that good vanilla and like just a little bit of that like smoky burnt matchstick kind of smoke. This is a really nice nose, actually. It's like the nose I wish the 12 had. It's like the notes I wrote on the 12, except they're like all coming like every once in a while at very high intensity. That's really nice. What can I say? It's really nice. That's a really nice one. Um, the palate has less dimension than the nose does, but that's actually just true somewhat of like palates in general. Like you just have more ability to detect different scents on your nose than you do have flavor detection on your tongue. It's just kind of how it is. But because I'm like thinking of all these things that are coming out of the aroma, and I'm like, I want those to appear on the palate, and I'm not getting like all of that. But you still get in there, and it's like still you get very rich dried fruit components. You get very rich like ginger cake, spice cake, ginger cake. Sort of elements. That smoke is slightly present. There's also like into the finish again spicy. You get like that toasted oak, like you get a woody, oaky factor on the back of the finish. I'm trying to unpack because I feel like there's more. There's more to this. Look, we're gonna need a higher sample size. Okay, we didn't to properly examine this. Properly examine this whiskey. Um, get a proper assessment here. um, that being said, I feel like I didn't pick the VSOP. Somewhat, I feel like I'm capped out a little bit on the aroma, though. I feel like now you never know. Sometimes like things come out of nowhere, but I think so much of what we said about the aroma is kind of like where it's at. Like that's kind of roughly where it's at. You get like vanilla custard, burnt matchstick smoky note, like a perfumey component. There's like that ginger cake, dried fruit, vanilla icing type of thing. You get a little bit of like richer, juicier fruit hits sometimes. That's kind of like where we're at with the nose, I think. I don't think it's like you're not hitting that all the time, but you're getting like some fragment of that every time. It's not really like presenting, it's not really going off out of that kind of box, kind of like what we've already described. Yeah. Like maybe you can convince me like the sweetness is like maybe hitting honey tier a little bit now. But aside from that, um, it's kind of like what we've kind of already described for the most part. That sweetness is starting to pick up a little bit though. Mm. So right at the start of the palate, you kind of get those like sherry related dried fruit notes and kind of like some of that like rich darker sweetness. Like you want to call it honey, you could, but to me it's kind of more like a darker toffee or a syrup kind of sweetness. Kind of as you hold it, you do get some of that smoky component, that kind of like burnt mashed kind of smoky component, and then comes like some more of that spice and cakiness. And that spice kind of grows a little bit on you as you hold it. Finish is not the longest though. That we'll say about that. Like the finish is like pretty medium minus kind of world. It's not like that long. Um, there's enough hit of different flavors on the palate that it's like, man, you get a rapid fire of a few things, and it's like takes a minute to like try to mentally slow that down to be like, okay, look, there's like this, and then there's that, and then there's this. So we kind of like, I feel like I got a good assessment of the palate on that one. Again, it's like you initially get some of that strong sherry characters. For me, it's like sweet, like sweetness, dried fruit kind of characters. And then arrives like some of that smoky component, and then arrives some of that like spicy and bready component. Um, so let's like try to focus on the finish here, if we can. Huh. Yeah, it's getting really sweet on the aroma though, like almost into like sponge toffee. Do you start with some like spiciness, a little bit of smokiness, some like earthiness in there though? Some earthiness arrives. There isn't like an underlying kind of like a syrup level sweetness. There's a slight grassy note to it too. It's like almost like a herbal, grassy thing. And then there's like a very like kind of faint toasted oak note, but then it's kind of gone. It's so much easier. I just like mentally processing this. It's so much easier to like talk through it on the finish because of the liquids out of your mouth. You don't have to like try to remember the whole palate. You kind of just say it as you get it. I wish I could talk with liquid in my mouth. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, the finish is not like super long. Good like set of components though. It took a minute for me to like really think about the finish, to really kind of process that like I was kind of getting some earthy components, some like grassy vegetal components on the finish. But they're not like It's not terribly long. We're not like talking about lasting and lingering. Oh, it lingers forever. You know, it's not one of those finishes. What do they write? Let's go to the marketeers that wrote the packaging and see what they think about this scotch here. It says a wild harmony of spiced citrus fruit, toasted oak, and floral peat smoke notes. That's it. That's what it says. That's not a lot to go by. Spiced citrus fruit, huh? That's not where I'm at, but I could see it. Like I could convince myself of there being citrus in there. But to me, it's not like this isn't like oranges, lemons, and limes, like tangerine or something like that. That's not where I'm at with this. But you know, I could see how you would interpret some of the notes in here as like citrus. And it says toasted oak, floral peat. There's so much more. There's so much more. I think they just wrote a small little blurb. That's all it says. So much more. This is really good. This is really good. My like blast of this, I think, is that it's really hot at first, but like every like cask strength whiskey, it's like you get that first sip and you're like, woo, and you got like smoke coming out of your ears, but like after like two and three, it's like it's not bad. It's just you're kind of like used to it. But and then the plus sign is the flavor is so intense, so it's strong flavors coming out of this one. It does not pull any punches. It slaps in all the good ways. Um, it's very tasty. This is so good, actually. This one's good. I can't really tell. I can't really tell if the port has that much of an impact. It feels like maybe like some of the like fruity components are like a little bit more luscious than they would normally be. But I can't tell how much port is really in this. It didn't have obvious port notes. Just like a little bit of like, it's like they're just boosting the fruit a little bit. Maybe they're boosting that syrupiness a little bit. Um, but really kind of just felt like it was the 12. It felt like it was like the 12 on roids. Like that's kind of what it felt like. It's like a lot of the similar notes that I feel like I get from that 12-year-old. Um, just like on 11, like a full blast. Um, dangerously delicious, I would say. I could pour more, and I'm not going to. Dangerous.